out, follow me on TikTok. Kind of.
Well, let's go to San Francisco, speak to Dan Irons.
Marshy.
Technology Research Analytics Director of Wedbush Securities. Dan, very good morning to you as always. What's your sense of what's going on here? I mean, the Wall Street Journal would have been unlikely to report this unless something was happening.
Look, I mean, we've talked about it. There was
If you want to shout out, follow me on TikTok, Oscar.
Going into that call last week, because the reality is that the brand damage, the shareholder frustration, I think the board basically has sent a warning shot. I mean, and that's sort of my interpretation of it. I think a lot of that's now in the rearview mirror, but Musk, he needs to get reined in.
And get reined in because when you look at the stats, they're quite stark. Profits down 70%.
If you want to shout out, follow me on TikTok live, everybody.
800 billion.
No, if you want to shout out, follow me on TikTok.
The car is being bought less and less.
I mean, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, acts, I mean, it is a duck, right? I mean, so the reality is that the brand damage had a huge impact on Tesla. And the biggest asset for Tesla is Musk. And that's why...
Right, thank you. Follow me on TikTok live, everybody.
Musk has ever done. And that was a different Elon. I mean, a little more, what I think, reading the room. And I think it just shows. I mean, I think, you know, and obviously Tesla's denying it.
Thank you. Follow me on TikTok live, everybody. Thank you. Yes, babe.
The stock acted accordingly, and now they start to put this dark chapter in the rearview mirror. And you even saw it at the cabinet meeting yesterday. I mean, I think this is essentially, this is the end of Musk at the White House.
Well, I was just going to ask on that. I mean, we've read in recent days that he doesn't quite have the same access to the West Wing as he had. But there have been lots of suggestions that he was going to leave.
Yeah, I'm going in 10 minutes to get ready to go out.
But you do think ultimately he's on his way out?
Yeah, I think to being near the end. Look, the reality is, like, I mean, he could still maybe be at some meetings over the next year or whatever. But look, for Musk, I mean, he has to...
I will do when I go out.
And that's why this was one of those moments. And I think
you're too hot for me, you are.
I think also this took on a life of its own that even he underestimated.
Caitlin, hi Caitlin. Want to shout out for your follower?
The shareholders, as a public company, the board has fiduciary responsibilities.
I keep playing everybody make it sweat when you're around. If you want to shout out, follow me on TikTok, like and share it. Thank you.
And some of them are doing quite well. I mean, Microsoft's shares today, I think, up. Or they have been over the last 24 hours, at nearly 9%.
I mean, and look, and we talked about last week in our checks, like, the AI...
If you want to shout out, follow me on TikTok live.
To some extent,
everyone who follows me on TikTok gets a shout out. Yes, I do.
Strong numbers on cloud from Alphabet, from Microsoft. You look at those Meta, the digital advertising strength, that's similar to what we saw with Alphabet as well. So look, Apple, obviously, you know, they're blindfolded darts just doing the task,
I wish.
But tech is going to remain strong, and it's a bedrock in this market. A huge night last night for big tech bulls.
The funny fitter, thank you. Everyone who follows me on TikTok, like and share it, thank you.
A lot must be said when it comes to car manufacturers, clearly feeling some of the economic or political heat too. Do you think when it comes
one shout out for every follower
going forward, I mean, for example, you know, iPhone, Apple, again, we've seen exemptions.
Get rid of that.
Talked about and named.
Get rid of that.
The kind of big tech brands,
thank you.
Like, will Donald Trump listen to them in the end?
I mean, the market's basically saying he has to. Because it all comes down to, I mean...
I don't know what who they are.
Then there's just the reality of how you actually make these products. And I think that's something where you continue to take steps...
It's a bit like you being silly with the bin song, you are. That's what you're silly. Singing the bin song.
Negotiations with China. But I think markets basically saying Trump's going to have to back down. That's what's starting to get factored.
Oh, thank you. Want to shout out for every follower, thank you. TikTok, Megan. Just a bit of a naughty channel at this time of day. Believe it or not, they still show it.
Ends tomorrow. It means means that shipments valued at or below $800, which were previously exempt from tariffs, will now be subject to new duties and postal fees.
Want a shout out there for your follower, thank you.
Conway has been looking at the
Everyone who's followed me on TikTok gets a shout out.
What is the latest on tariffs? Well, let's just give you a bit of a primer. You're probably familiar with. We're looking at the US and the tariffs that they are imposing. Additional tariffs recently had that extra 10%, another extra 10% coming in March, another 10% coming in April, and then that massive 145% tariff rate on Chinese goods. China has retaliated, of course, but of course there's way more stuff coming in from China to the US than there is the other way around. But here's what's interesting, okay? So that's the big number.
Want a shout out there for your follower, thank you.
It's a little bit obscure, and you might well have encountered it, because basically it says that if something is very cheap, then it basically costs more than you can gain by trying to impose tariffs on it. So take something, for instance, the UK, every country around the world, this is showing you the threshold at which this de minimis rule kicks in. In the UK, anything under £135, we don't charge customs on it because it's just seen as being too cheap and not worth it. In the US, that threshold is $800, a lot higher, and actually in the US, you've seen a big increase in goods coming into the US which are below that threshold and therefore don't pay customs.
One shout out there for your follower.
2018 by 146%. And what is that? A lot of it is fast fashion. It's places like Temu, so it's consumer goods, it's Shein, stuff that's coming in that's cheap.
Everyone who's followed me on TikTok gets a shout out, thank you.
Go over that threshold and you have to pay customs, therefore it's a lot cheaper. But here's what's interesting. Donald Trump says, and he signed this executive order back in early April.
I'm going in a minute.
We're getting rid of it. Okay, so you are going to
Until time.
Those customs rates. It's worth saying, he did say this once before and then kind of reversed it. But nonetheless,
Thank you.
At the end of this week, that's going to come in. And what's interesting is, in the run-up to
I got my dental appointment just after 12.
Temu, for instance, there's Temu, and here's Shein, Chinese cheap goods, which basically benefit from that what a lot of people see as a loophole. That was where they were on the App Store, so high up in terms of their ranking.
Well, thank you. Follow me on TikTok, like and share it, thank you.
Basically are shunning these apps.
Everyone who's followed me gets a shout out, everybody.
Pricing that you're seeing on some of these. It's just taking a basket of goods and looking at how it's changed just over the course of 3 days. So 24th of April, that's how much the typical basket of goods.
Cameron, thank you. Everyone who's followed me gets a shout out.
So look at what happened the next day. Look at that bar. It went up and up, went up.
Bye. Everyone who's followed me on TikTok gets a shout out, everybody.
Hello from the BBC Sports Centre, I'm Molly Stevens. We'll start with the news that the English Football Association has announced that transgender women will no longer be able to play in women's football in England from the 1st of June. The governing body amended...
Did you? If you want a shout out, follow me on TikTok Live, everybody.
...criteria, but have scrapped that policy following the UK Supreme Court's ruling that the legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex. Here's our sports news correspondent, Andy Swiss.
This is a significant shift in position from the English Football Association because it comes only a few weeks after they said that they would continue to allow transgender women to play in women's football in England.
One shout out for every follower. One shout, if you want the shout out, follow me on TikTok Live. Angie. If you want the shout out, follow me on TikTok Live.
Come under increasing pressure to change its rules since that landmark Supreme Court ruling that a woman is defined by biological sex under equalities law. So they have now changed their position.
Much more on that story on the BBC Sport website. Now, Barcelona and Inter Milan produced a Champions League classic in the first leg of their semi-final. The Italians scored twice in the opening 21 minutes with goals from Marcus Thuram and Denzel.
Miranda, thank you. Follow me on TikTok, like and share it. Gemma, thank you. Get me up to 200 viewers, everybody. Gemma.
The comeback which leads the second leg brilliantly. Both managers were full of praise for the impact Yamal had on the game.
he's special. He's special, and also as I said, also
Thank you, Scar.
often before he's a genius.
Follow me then. Follow me on TikTok, everybody.
During the game, when I look to the match from the outside, so it's not like, you know, when you see after the game, you see the situations he has normally in the match.
Thank you. Follow me on TikTok, like and share it, did it?
Unbelievable how we do it.
Harry, thank you.
He is the player. During the first half, we had faced the game so well. VD, formed by Sir Winston Churchill's war cabinet. The Army Benevolent Fund was created to ensure support was available for soldiers returning from the Second World War. The charity's first ever public appeal film featured none other than Field Marshal Montgomery.
We are a debt to these men.
If you want the shout out, follow me on TikTok, Donna. Thank you.
Let us not forget that debt. I feel sure you will not let them down.
The vital work of the Army Benevolent Fund continues to this day, and with your help, it can carry on supporting soldiers, veterans, and
Hi, Phoebe, Louise, thank you. Everyone who follows me get the shout out, thank you, Rosie. Everyone who follows me on TikTok get the shout out.
your support more than ever. This VE Day, show your gratitude by supporting the Army Benevolent Fund. Thank you. Pre-treat, pre-soak, post-soak. When did getting your clothes become such hard work?
All that scrubbing and lemons and those extra products, really? But there's another way. The big one, new from Ariel, has built-in pre-treaters for double stain and odour removal. So it's just one and you're done. Where's the hard work in that? The big one, new from Ariel. Keep away from children.
What Prince Harry wanted to do.
Is that your opinion?
It is. It is. Since the Oval Office region have
Ever had such a reaction?
It's just incredible. That big day from Sky.
You said I'm not coming back for more, but you have come back for more.
For decisions to come.
Thank you. Thank you,
If you want the shout out, follow me on TikTok Live. Everyone who follows me get the shout out. Hi, Neve. Everyone who follows me on TikTok get the shout out. Thank you. Ernie, thank you. Follow me on TikTok Live, everybody. One shout out for every follower. Kahia, thank you. Everyone, Harry, thank you, Harry.
Confidence in both central London and in the UK.
Adam, everyone who follows me on TikTok get the shout out. Burn, thank you. Frozen, one shout out for every follower. Thank you.
Now, in a moment, I ask the big question: is it actually IKEA or IKEA?
Amy.
Concept of city stores and bringing IKEA closer to people in metropolitan areas for quite some years now. We have expanded into many cities, but I would say this is our biggest investment so far, and I think it's probably our coolest, most busy location as well.
When you say cool, what does that mean? Why is it cooler than the other IKEAs?
If you want the shout out, follow me on TikTok Live.
I think it's a little bit cooler than the average IKEA store, so it has a couple of components that we never
Daisy, thank you, Daisy.
We have everything from curated shops with Londoners that helped us curate.
If you want the shout out, follow me on TikTok Live, everybody.
With room settings, building homes and replicas of real families in London and their life situations. We have a live studio. I think it's the first of its kind in IKEA. We have a wonderful Swedish bistro and a lot more.
Well, we all love a meatball, and there's no doubt about that. But just in regards to the store itself, I mean, this is obviously most much smaller than most IKEA stores. What's the appeal? What are you trying to do here that the big out-of-town ones that people are more familiar with?
Everyone who's followed me on TikTok, get the shout out. Shimon, thank
It's
you.
an interesting journey. I think for myself it began when I took this job some 8 years ago.
Everyone who's followed me on TikTok, get the shout out.
Meeting customers who in the omnichannel retail transformation, if you like, were honest to share with me that we like IKEA, we love IKEA.